Cancer, this is going to be your general reading for the month of August in 2018. I'm going to do an 11 card Celtic cross spread for you, and this is for Cancer rising, sun, and moon sign. I hope you guys are well. I hope you survived the last eclipse just fine. I know it was really intense. It was for me anyway. But for me, I don't know about you guys, but the first 3 days leading up to the eclipse were the most intense for me. And then the actual night of the eclipse almost felt like a release or a relief. So, I'm shuffling in the best, highest good for Cancer rising, sun, and moon sign for the month of August 2018, along with anything that they may need to hear. I hope you got out of the house last month. Got to spend some time near water. Okay, here we go. I'll pick the cards first and then I'll show them to you. And I may pick clarifiers, it just depends on what comes out. Pardon me, I'm just trying to adjust stuff. Excuse me. I know this part's kind of boring. You can always fast forward if you want to. Okay. Your central experience for the month of August is the Lovers. What is your challenge? Is the Ten of Pentacles upside down. This flipped out of the deck upside down. Normally my cards are all righted before I shuffle, so I don't normally work with upside down cards. If one shows up, it means something for sure. What is helping you or hindering you? I guess I'll have to go into this one on which one it is. Or if it's, yeah, we'll see. At your core is the Nine of Wands. Your recent past is the Fool. Your best possible outcome is the Devil. This is extremely odd to have in that position. So I pulled a clarifier for it, and I got another major arcana card, Strength, Lady Strength. So this definitely makes more sense to me, and we'll get into it. Your near future you got the Nine of Swords, and I also wanted to pull some things to go with that to help me explain it. And I pulled the Three of Cups and the Hanged Man. You right now are the King of Wands. In your surroundings is the King of Pentacles. Your hopes and fears, I'm taking this as a hope, is the Eight of Pentacles. And just to make sure that it was a hope, I pulled another card to go with it, and this is what determined me to think that this is a hope, is you got the Six of Wands. Let's see if I can maneuver that for you. I apologize, my cards are extremely ancient, so a lot of the ink has fallen off and the images are a little bit distorted, but it's my deck. So your general outcome is the Hierophant. Very nice. Very strong outcomes you have here. So let me get started. I definitely got some specific things in here because there may be a number of different cancers that come from different backgrounds and are in different, slightly different scenarios from each other. I'm going to try to interpret this in as many ways I can. So your central experience for the month of August leads me to believe that you have to make some kind of a major life-changing choice. You're at some kind of a crossroads in your life, and so you do have to make some kind of a major choice, whether it's between actual lovers or relationships or locations or jobs or any number of major things you could be choosing in your life. This is also to do with balancing yourself, balancing your intuition with your logic, your heart with your head, your anima with your animus, in order to make the best possible choice. If you have differing parts of yourself in argument with each other, it is almost impossible to make major choices in your life. When you are really focusing on maintaining harmony within your own being, it's much more likely that you will make a concise, clear choice based off of how you are, how the two aspects of yourself are in harmony with one another. So your challenge with that has something to do with community or family or groups of friends. This is not just your personal relationships, one-on-one relationships. This is your relationship with your greater community or your family or your clan or tribe or however you would like to put it. What I'm getting in here is that possibly you feel unfed by community or groups of friends or your greater community at large. You may feel as though either your community just isn't there, or it is there but it doesn't understand you, or you just don't fit in a certain way, or you may feel as though your family, your actual blood family, doesn't understand you. Or it could be that you have to make some kind of a major choice concerning your future based off of the needs of your community or your family members. It could be that your family has fallen upon hard times, and so you're faced with a choice. Do I go and be with them, or do I stay where I'm at? What can I actually do in this situation? It could be that you feel unfed by your community at large, or you just haven't found your soul tribe yet, in which case you're faced with a major choice, which is, do I move to a totally different location and hope that I find like-minded people? Or should I stay where I'm at and hope that my community evolves to a level where I feel a part of it somehow? Something like that. It could also be you faced with some kind of a choice because you feel as though something about your location or the community around you, you're not making as much money as you would like, or you're not providing a solid foundation for yourself to be able to grow on in the future. Something to do with your surroundings. Let's go on. So let me pull a clarifier to go with this to help me explain it. Okay. I'm not getting a clear message on whether this is helping you or hindering you. It could be both. This is saying that you're in a waiting period right now where things are slowed down and you are making progress, you are moving forward, and things are growing. It's just hit an impasse or a moment of having to just naturally wait for things to ripen to be the best time, possibly to make this choice. But I pulled two clarifiers to go with it. And pardon me, I got the Ten of Swords and I got the Eight of Wands. So between these two cards, I'm getting that there are a lot of things that are suddenly up in the air. The winds of change are happening. Things are changing. There's a lot up in the air. There are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of different directions you could go in. But because everything is kind of unstable right now or up in the air, it's very hard to know what the heck is actually really going on, or what you should be going towards, or which one of these wands you should go with. At the same time that the winds of change are blowing and things are up in the air, there are some long-standing situations, possibly involving other people or involving your own thought processes, that are coming to a close or to an end. This could be you have some kind of a feeling of betrayal or being misunderstood by others, or possibly even being backstabbed or gossiped about, or just situations involving community or groups of friendships have gotten to a point now where they're not what you thought they were, or they ended in ways that you didn't see coming, or there's something about how you think of those things that is coming to an end now. And at the same time that that is happening, the reason why everything is up in the air is because there's some kinds of winds of change that are letting you know that it's time to move on. It's time to move, or it's just time to move on. It's time to explore other things now. And something about this major choice or decision about whether or not, well, actually I'm getting you need to move on. You can't keep on continuing to have things be what they have been, and you know this. But you're just thinking about logistics or how you would go about doing that, or it may not even really be the right time to do that yet, and that's the reason why you have to wait, and this is what's helping you. Perhaps you have things on the way that haven't arrived yet that are opportunities that will help you with this choice or help you to move on quicker than you think. Perhaps you're thinking that this is some kind of a process that's going to have to take a long time. But what I'm getting is that that's not necessarily true. You may actually have some sudden breakthroughs or some sudden opportunities that come your way. You just for now have to kind of wait for them to arrive. You may not even know that these are arriving yet. You might just have this internal feeling that for whatever reasons, things are being put on hold for a reason. So at your core, you have the Nine of Wands. which again speaks of near endings or things approaching their natural closing time. Maybe there's somebody watching or a couple of people watching that have had their houses on the market for sale, and they're waiting for the final closure of the deal, of the selling of the house, before they can completely move on or choose what they're going to do next. That's just one scenario I'm getting that's particular. But that aside, this is saying that you have already done quite a bit of work, or you've taken a lot of actions. You've put things into motion. You've done things to set this into fruition, and you are almost done with this process. You're almost complete with everything that you have been doing. Because you're almost complete, you're definitely thinking of, okay, after this is finally over and you feel like everything is wrapped up and you can make this choice, what are you going to choose? Which way are you going to go? Perhaps you're thinking of that now while you're wrapping up the other stuff. You will have a really good outcome from this, though. It's not like the Ten of Swords. It's not like the Ten of Swords. This is an ending that you have been expecting and working on for a very long time. So that's at your root, is to congratulate yourself for all of the things that you have done so far. In your recent past, you have the Fool. So this says you have already been dreaming. You've already been thinking about what you would like, or where you would like to go, or what you would like to do. You're on to a completely new cycle that has to do with adventure, joy, spontaneity, awakening your mind, awakening your consciousness, believing that you can have magic back in your life again if you have felt really stagnant in the past. That you're graduating, and not only that you're graduating, you're embarking on a completely new magical journey in your life, where synchronicities happen all the time and you feel as though you're divinely guided. So you've been feeling this excitement, or you've been feeling that anything is possible. You just need to somehow wrap up all of this old stuff. Oh, hang on one moment. Here I am. Okay. This is your best possible outcome. And I know it is a very strange looking best possible outcome to have, which is why I pulled another card to go with it, which is Lady Strength. And what I'm getting from this is that your best possible outcome is that you have the strength and will of character to overcome anything within or without your being that holds you back. This is having humor, having a sense of grace, a sense of self-forgiveness, forgiveness of other people, and flexibility and adaptability of will to be able to overcome anything that stands in your way, internally or externally. So when I look at it in comparison to everything else, you have several major arcanas in here. You have the Fool in your recent past, which is wanting to take a risk or a leap of faith into the unknown because you have fully outgrown your past experiences. You no longer feel fed by where you're at in your life in general. Your best possible outcome is to have a sense of humor and to overcome anything in your own being or what seems to be external from holding you back from fully doing this or taking this risk. And your best possible outcome is that you have the strength to do that within your own being. In the near future, one of your cards is the Hanged Man, which is another major arcana card. And then you have the Hierophant as your general outcome. So when I look at all of the major arcana cards in here, I'm getting that you need to make a choice. You want to take a risk or a leap into the unknown, and you've already been thinking about this. You need to overcome whatever is stopping you from making this choice or taking that leap, and you have the strength to be able to overcome it. In the near future, you have to have some kind of a vision quest, and you need to wrap up the last little dregs of this old cycle before you can move on. And as your best possible or your general outcome, you're on a healing journey right now that has to do with overcoming whatever it is that blocks you from being able to manifest what you want in your life. So, speaking of the near future, in your near future, you have the Nine of Swords, which is worry, anxiety, and stress. The card to go with that is the Three of Cups, which represents deep friendships and alliances, people that hold you up emotionally. And your other card to go with these is the Hanged Man. So, again, I'm getting something in here that talks about you being unhappy because you feel as though you haven't found your spirit family, or your spirit family that you once have, you are outgrowing. They're not going in the same direction as you. There may have been some disappointments involving friendships or groups of people that you thought really cared about you, but it turns out they're just too busy or they're more superficial than you thought. It's like that fair weather friends saying, where they're there for you when they need you, but they're not always there for you when you need them. And something about this situation of feeling unhappy with friendships has been dragging on for a very long time. It feels like you've spent way too much time on your own or by yourself, not because you necessarily wanted to, but because that was the only option. Perhaps there weren't enough friends around, or there wasn't a feeling of emotional support, something like that. And something about this is coming to a head in the near future. Let me pull another card to go with those to figure out how this plays out in the future. Okay. In the near future, you're going to become very clear on the fact that the friendships that you do have are somehow just not feeding you the way that you need, or they're just simply not around at this time. But that's leading you to daydream or want to take risks in the future to possibly start a new beginning or a new stable structure where you can meet like-minded people or people that are along your wavelength. But something about your situation that you have going on now needs to come to an end in order for you to have some kind of a rebirth. Certain aspects of this need to fall away in order for you to follow your true calling. So you right now are the King of Wands. He's the master of action. And this can be a person in your life as well. This can also be an aspect of yourself that you're trying to cultivate more at this time, which is self-confidence, belief in himself, the ability to act, the ability to cause things to come into being. the ability to manage, organize, he goes after what he wants. He knows how to be warm, caring, and he knows how to honor himself. So this is where you're at now, is you're ready for some kind of a leadership role, or you're ready to take control of your life. You're ready to take some kind of action. And this can also be someone in your life that shows those qualities, that's acting as a guide at this time, or is a good ally for you. In your surroundings, you have the King of Pentacles, and he is the king of being patient, being grounded, being prosperous, being able to manifest on a physical level what he wants. He has a great sense of humor. He loves plants and animals. He loves nature. He loves creating on a physical plane, whether it's structures, whether it's sculptures, whether it's great pieces of art or beautiful pieces of music. This is in your surroundings. Is perhaps in order to take this new leap, you need some funding, or you need extra money in order to make this thing happen. In which case it says, in your surroundings, you have the ability to be able to do that. Whether it comes in the form of you doing that for yourself, or comes in the form of allies that show you how to do that for yourself, as well as allies that may be able to help you or fund you. As your hopes, I'm definitely getting that this is a hope, is that through your dedication, hard work, and patience, and your take it by day preparing for things, that you will have a successful outcome and you will be able to have what you need in order to move forward. Also, your hope is that you will have success with work, or that all of your hard work and effort towards your future goals will come out to be completely victorious and successful with what you've been aiming at, which is excellent. I see this as something that you can totally manifest and that will actually happen. You just have to keep on staying positive and hoping and going in that direction. So your general outcome is the Hierophant, which is the speaker of ageless wisdom. He is the wounded healer. He is about the passage and process of learning how to heal your old wounds and heal the things that stand in the way from you being able to manifest on an earth plane what you wish. So oftentimes a healing process, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, with healing processes like this, it's going to make you even more aware of what your wounds are. It may hurt worse temporarily in the beginning stages than you have been hurting, because it's becoming conscious on what's hurting you or what your wounds exactly are. And so this isn't an easy process. This involves feeling your feelings. This involves examining your own wounds. This has to do with dredging up old pains. But once you go through that process of identifying what those things are, you can finally work on somehow releasing them, where they don't stand in the way of you being able to manifest what you want. So between your two outcomes, your best possible outcome is that you can vanquish and conquer through gentleness and self-forgiveness and forgiveness of other people, as well as honoring your own boundaries. You can overcome anything that stands in your way. And it may turn out that what you thought is a big giant monster that was stopping you was actually a little piddly, teeny creature that really just needed your love. And your general outcome is that you are healing. And because you're healing, there are certain things coming up to be dealt with or felt that perhaps you were numb to before. And so this may seem really painful at first. But if you keep on going with it and have faith and believe that you can go through this process, you will come out on the other side and be able to leap towards the unknown in a good way. So hopefully that helped, or at least made sense. And I wish you guys all the best. Many, many blessings to you. I love you very much. And stay tuned for your bonus reading, which will be about your love and relationships, your career or money situation, and your health. Okay, take care.